So, as she said, I do different kind of photography, war as other things, social, culture. But it's true that recently it's been more on war zones. Even if I don't photograph the war, I photograph the society around it and the people around it and their lifestyle. And I've been working a lot in the Middle East. And 2 years ago, I started a project on women from Afghanistan through Iran, Syria, Jordan, and Gaza and the West Bank. And this is the show I'm going to, show you tonight. So I'm going to talk through the pictures, and if you have any question during the show, you don't hesitate. We can just stop and go on. Stop it. Okay. C'est bon? Et après? Okay, just before I... this show is to be clear, even if I'm going to talk about, difficult situation for women, and I'm not a militant at all. I've never been on any side. I don't, it's not my aim. And I'm just describing, looking at situations on women, different stories on them, different places where they live, and also their context. And I think that more I look at this issue, more I think that maybe these people have more hope that we do. I mean, we are free, we are, in great countries, and I think we're losing freedom when these people are not free, unhappy, or miserable, and they have a hope. And that's why I think it's interesting, for me to spend time with those people. So I'm starting here with the latest story I did in Gaza about suicide woman. And here's the grandmother that maybe you all heard about. She went to kill herself in front. Actually, she was far away from the soldier. Still, he was injured, but she lost her life, and she left behind her a family of 100 people who are rather proud, but still, still in Gaza. No, c'est l'autre. Ouais. This was the. I'm going to go from Gaza to Afghanistan to Iran, then back to Gaza. I put all these pictures more in issues than in countries. This is the Hamas political rallies during the election in Gaza last year. It's about the same time in January. And until 2 years ago, 3 years ago, the women in the West Bank, the Palestinian women, were pretty open. There was not too many scarves. Not too many, engagement in Islam and commitment to the religion. And now in Gaza, you can't really go out without a scarf, or you respect it. I mean, it's like many people ask me if I wear a scarf when I work, and I say yes, because I don't want to look different. That's all. It's not by, belief, or I don't want to prove anything when I go around, and I just want to be discreet, so I wear the scarf, and in Gaza I do too. This is a woman. She was a candidate at the Hamas, and she was elected as she's at the parliament in Gaza, and she's the mother of 3 martyrs. The 3 guys who are on the wall in the poster died in operation against the Israelis. And the 3 remaining sons are still alive, and they are in politics or bodyguards. And that day she was just back from Mecca, And she was really calm and very happy to see her family. And right, so it's just going by itself. Okay, this is in Beit Hanoun 3 weeks ago, after the operation, the Israeli operation, and you see the women. That was very interesting because, like, the day after the Israeli left, the women took care of everything. They start repairing the houses. They bring the children to school. They came door to door to meet with the people to see how much they need, and they were very active there. So I thought it was interesting to do another story on women in Beit Hanoun, even if I wasn't, I wasn't thinking of doing it before, but I was surprised how much they are active in Gaza. That's there too in Beit Hanoun. She's the mayor. She's the wife of the mayor. And she didn't want to have a picture taken later. I mean, I came to her and I said, I want to do a story on you and I want to take pictures more on you. And she was really cold and she doesn't want to have anything to do with press, with photographers. And this woman, the Hamas women, some are really helpful, very talkative, and suddenly you find some on the other side, like hardcore, just they don't like foreigners really, and so they do what they have to do on their side, and that's it. That's in the office of the. Sorry, I forgot her name. It's gonna be like this mostly tonight because I can't, But the office of this woman is she was the leader of the march of the women who went to Beit Hanoun. If you remember, there was a big demonstration of women. They came to liberate the fighters in the mosque, and 3 of them got killed. And this woman, she's a big target now to the Israelis because she's considered as dangerous. I mean, I met her, and she's more strong than any man there. She has even great ideas. Later on, they went to occupy a house. Like the Israelis called the house and said that they want to bomb the house. And then she decided she's going to bring over her friends, and then more families, and then men came to protect as a human shield the house, and they never bombed it. That's the woman. And she's posing here with 3 of her colleagues who march in Beit Hanoun. So she's comparing to the man there in Gaza, she's funny because she's very spontaneous. She fears nothing. She doesn't really care about politics, even if she's in the parliament. She says she was better as a teacher than as a parliamentary because she was more free as a teacher. And in politics, she finds too many boundaries and difficulties. I mean, yes, of course, in Gaza, politics is complicated now. And this is just, a long time ago, in 2003. April, in Jenin. She's wearing the traditional Palestinian dress. Same, there was in the streets around. The day after the Israelis left, there was a lot of damage in the town, many dead, big drama. And this is in Gaza. It was during the funeral of the little family of Uda, which died on the beach in June, when seven members of a family were hit by a shell on the beach, and there was this girl who remained. And Uda became a symbol, an idol. Actually, I came back on it and I realized that there was not only Uda, but her sisters were also, surviving, and even worse, that they were so injured and still in the hospital now. And Uda was better than the others, but she became an icon for the press, because press came and, yeah, that's in Beit Hanoun. Same idea of woman taking care of a lot of things. and a bit of joy, as usual. Funny, life goes on at some point. But I mean, she's smiling because she came to visit her mother, who is not smiling too much on the left, I mean, on her right. This is another suicide bomber, and in Gaza, when you die as a martyr, usually the family makes a big poster out of you, and so she had it as well. Her mother it's her house. They don't cry when they talk about her. She was 18. She was probably, I think, more brave than their grandmother. She died a week before. It happened in Beit Hanun as well, when the grandmother happened later, and it was a different story. But her, she got less publicity, but more determined. She was 18. I saw other pictures of her. She was wearing you could understand she had joy in her life. Like she was wearing the black dress, but there were big flowers, notes, and she was very, very strong. So one day she just decided to kill herself as well. And this is in Baghdad, and I was there for National Geographic during the invasion of the coalition. And Geographic, they decided to use this picture because they thought it shows how much the woman is, that the occupation of the woman during the war, and that she's working and she has to take care of the family, and that obviously she was the one who hanged those clothes. So, and also, it's not only men who are looting, but women. That was a few days after the arrival of the Americans, and during that big looting party in Baghdad that follows. And this is in Shia funeral in Baghdad. It was interesting because actually there was, it was a child, a little girl who died, and there was lots of photographers around, and I was the only girl there, and they were lining up to enter that washing room. It's where they wash the bodies. The Muslims do that, and before the burial, and the cleric, he saw me from far away, and instead of bringing the first photographer who was closer to the door, he showed me, he pointed at me and he said, you come. And I got in the room without, even trying, basically. And everything that is written on the back is about death, and surahs of the Quran talking about death and how it's going to be for you once you're dead. And this is the body of an 8-year-old girl, that the daughter of these two women you saw before. Also, just technically, I thought that was interesting, and I like this picture because of the yellow. You see the dresses. I was shooting film on that assignment, and not digital. And some water, because they wash, with lots of water, the buckets of water to wash the body, and some water came in my pocket. And so when I processed the film, it became, it came here and there. I thought it was interesting, and kind of bringing more life to the picture. And this is the Shiites who go on pilgrim in Damascus. There is the the name of the woman who's buried there. Never mind. Okay. Fatima. No. Zainab. Yeah, she's one of the daughter of the Prophet, and she's buried in Damascus, and there are buses and airplanes carrying pilgrims to visit that place. And the women have their section, and men have their own section too, and it's lots of emotion. This is in Afghanistan, in Mazar-e-Sharif. All the pictures I shot in Afghanistan are mainly shot during the election 2 years ago, for the first time the women went to vote, and it was about what was the situation of the woman, after 3 years of more freedom, no more Taliban, Karzai, and what has become with them, and if they are better, if the condition is better or not. So I think you heard about this since 2 years, that the condition is not that much better. But some women tried to get more freedom. But anyway, we're going to talk about this later because we are back in Iran now, in a Quranic theological school in the border with in Mashhad. In Mashhad, yeah. There are lots of women there in that school who are coming from, even America or foreign countries, not Iranian, and it's supposed to be the school in Iran, the classic school, that great boarding. Eton, it's the Eton, Iran. Okay, this is in Mashhad too. It's the prayer and the mosque on the woman side. This is in Afghanistan. But, I thought, why put women in their countries when actually they're all going through the same religion, more or less the same mentalities, more or less the same problems, and they understand each other, those women. I don't think you can divide those women like as with their nationalities, but with their culture. It's like us, like Italian women are more or less going to be having the same attitude than an English one, or, we can't, so. This is an Afghan refugees in Pakistan, crying under a burqa. And this was in Herat, that story about women who burned themselves to protest about their condition. So either they burn themselves, or they get burned, or whatever. In the end, they all get to this hospital where they get maybe up to 10 cases a week of women in really desperate conditions, sometimes burned to 90 degrees, and some survive, lots of them don't survive. And once they get burned, it's like a tattoo after, I guess. When they survive it, nobody is going to look at them in the same way than they were looked before, because they will know that they did this as a revolt and as a mark of unhappiness, and which they usually do not do. So they're going to be the difficult one. And for them, they probably know this, so they understand that in doing this, they will escape their family, and are going to have to live differently. She did that story big time. And it's not fading, right? It's still going on. It's yeah. Oh, yeah. I heard that it's spreading in other parts of Afghanistan, and they say that it's a thing that is coming from Iran.
The original story was that it came from a television series in Iran, which was picked up by inhabitants of Iraq, and then has now spread as a phenomenon throughout Afghanistan.
Yeah, so that was taken again during the story of the so-called freedom of women in Afghanistan for the election, and then we understood very, very soon that, and everywhere, that the women were not more free, and they were completely, they were very in their constrict with a name, with a word, by the tradition and the culture, I would say even the religion doesn't have much to do in there. It's just really morality in the society and the tradition and the culture that, keeps them under the burqa, or even they try to get out or to have their own life or to work or to do something that will help them to be free and independent. They just can't do it. Some have tried and they ended up killing themselves because they felt too much pressure on them, or being killed, or escaping. I mean, it's mostly always a drama when a woman tries. This is a maternity in Jalalabad. And I was actually, the women give birth 8 by 8 in that place. They go, they walk in, they walk out, and yeah, it's hard. This is a shelter for single or abandoned or the women who escaped their family because they don't want to go. They don't fit the. They don't fit the. They don't want to stick to this, or they are wild, or even some turn out to become prostitutes. So this NGOs, is a German NGO, go and pick them up in jails and take them, try to rehabilitate them, try to find their families, and try to bring those girls back to their home or to some home where they can have a life. And usually it works. They were not, too many girls who've been there for so long. They go and they spend 2 months, 3 months, and when the workers succeed in finding new home for those women, the women go back to their life. So this girl, the girl you saw before, had this journal, this diary, which was interesting because it's a Christian symbol, actually. She's on the cross. I don't know what it means really, but this girl, she escaped her husband, and I don't know exactly how it happened. She told us a very complicated story, and but she's still looking for her daughter, which is on the bag. That was on the wall of the shelter. Basically to say, look at this, this is what you don't want, and you have to fight this. It's not correct. So this girl is about to leave the shelter, and she's going back to her family, so she's very anxious. It's a shame for a woman to escape. It's a shame for the entire family, the entire society around. When the woman leaves, they don't say she escaped. They treat her like a traitor, and it's very bad for those girls. And usually they can't go back home just because of that. It's forever. You leave, that's it. And if ever you come back, they're gonna watch for you, and you're always gonna be the one who escaped, and it's gonna be difficult to marry you again, and so you're gonna just end up, washing dishes for 20 people, 40 people, depending of the size of the family, forever. This is the carpet where Shaima, she was a journalist working for Afghan television, Tolo, and she killed herself because too much pressure. I mean, she touched it, She became a journalist. She was on TV. She was doing an entertainment program. And she was wearing skirts, and she was going to bars with foreigners, and she was drinking wine, and she wouldn't go with a burqa. And in the end, she took too much, she was becoming too obvious. And it's obscure why the television fired her. But then when she got fired, she went back home, and she lost the fame, the glamour, and everything, and all the family just looked at her like a a waste in the end. So she had to go back under the burqa, and in the end she said she killed herself. I mean, she said, people around said she killed herself, but two of her brothers were in jail accused of killing her. So I don't know, I'm not a judge. So this is I didn't ask to go to a crazy asylum, but I said, well, where the women go when they're alone and they're desperate and they don't have a family anymore and they are rejected, and I ended up in crazy asylum for crazy people. Also, yeah, after you had such a hard life, sometimes you just get a bit nuts. And this is exactly the same thing that happened in Iran. Me and my friend Caroline, actually, most of the story I've done it with a friend who's Caroline Mangès, and she's a journalist for the French magazine Paris Match. So, yeah, we visited most of those places together. So we ask again, we say, in Iran, we heard that like some women escape, or some women don't fit too well the society. Where do they go? Is there some rehabilitation center for them? Some school where you try to keep them straight, put them straight back to the good direction? And we arrived to this place about 70 kilometers away from Tehran. And after that road, I asked to go to the restroom at first. And when I got to the restroom, I saw a man alone in the corridor, and I thought, this is a place for crazy people. The feeling, and it's strange guy, smells strange, and so that was it again. All these women together, some were not crazy at all, but that was the place for them. This is in Gaza. It was just maybe 2 months ago to show the situation in Gaza, of the economical situation under the embargo and the problem that I guess you heard about. This difficult life. The people in Gaza don't have electricity since June. This is in Syria, in Damascus. And this is in the bathroom of a refugee camp in Khan Yunis in Gaza. And in Iran, the only women in the parliament, there are 8 of them. And they went to visit an orphanage for women. And there was iftar. It was during the Ramadan. So they go and prepare something for the VIP. So here you have the orphans, and on the right you have the people who are keeping the place, and that parliamentary woman. That was in Tehran, instead of having a Apple show, you have this in London, Apple show? When Apple come and make a big exhibition for their computers and stuff. In Tehran, they have a Quran show. So it's like for 2-3 weeks, it's like huge area where you have different ways of showing the Quran, explaining the Quran in DVDs, CDs, films, paintings, games, and also some, schools go and visit this place, and tourists and whoever. It's a big attraction. They're the women police in Tehran, in the women academy. Women police academy. They take care of the women. They go, and if you don't wear socks, or if you don't have the right friends to protect you, then they go after you and they take care of you, those women. They guide you. They are your sisters. That's outside the shooting training class. That's a secretary, just secretary in a ministry of sport in Tehran. And those are the Afghan refugees who took refuge in Iran. And after the departure of Taliban, and that was a year ago, one after the other, it's organized, and they go back to Afghanistan. And they don't wear the burqa, but they wear the black chador, the Iranian chador, and this is the tent where they wait for the bus. So obviously they didn't have a good time in Iran. They say, "I hate you, Iran," on the left. This is the Hamas sisters in Gaza. During a rally. And here is a university during the exam in Gaza as well. That's in Jordan. So in Jordan it's very split. You have very free women. They go like in London, and another side of this kind of girl who study seriously and very serious and very religious. That's in Tehran to celebrate the American embassy hostage crisis, which was in about 10 years ago, more? Who knows? Yeah, more. 20? Okay, yeah. Doesn't make us younger, huh? All right. Yeah, lots of women photographers in Tehran. I thought that was funny. I mean, there are many. And they photograph the women events. It's funny. And this is in Afghanistan, and that was interesting because this is a university for to become a teacher. And the women and men it's a mixed university. And when I shot those pictures, and when we crossed to Iran, and then as we got to Iran, we showed the pictures I shot in Afghanistan. And the people look at that and say, "Wow, this is free in Afghanistan." They would never expect that women and men can be in the same school and they don't have to wear a chador, comparing to Iran, actually. This is a woman going to hospital from Mazar-e-Sharif to Kabul. She was very sick, that woman. Doesn't show on the pictures, but it's a reality. This is during the election. It's Dostum, in Mazar-e-Sharif during the campaign. Dostum campaign is a warlord. And women came, a lot of them, because they have the right to vote, so they came to the rally. And then they went to vote. And you see that woman, she's smiling it's not like they're rushing for food, no. It was a great day, actually. One of those days when you're a journalist and it's nice. You know, it's nice, it's fun. Everybody's happy, they go to vote, there's no more war today, it's sunshine, and let's go vote. And so everybody was excited. And the woman too, even it was like queuing, pushing, it was nice. And easy access. I mean, you go there, you don't need a press card, nothing. You just go. And you can shoot the pictures, and you can talk with the people, and it was a good day. This is in Mazar as well, the women coming out the mosque and putting their burqa back on themselves to go out. And this is a wedding in Kabul. You know, the wedding in those countries is like the only party, actually. But it happens pretty often. And it's the day you get dressed, you get makeup and everything, and then you go and you eat, and it's boring. But still. She's a transsexual. It's a man who decided to wear the chador in Iran. But it's a long story about the transsexual in Iran. But to make it short, the government, if they see you're gay, they push you this way to operate yourself or keep, if you decide to be gay, you better change your sex directly. There is no, in between. That's in Gaza. It was during the election of the Hamas, and that's a woman, a little girl, daughter of a Fatah candidate, and she was in her bedroom, and she said, "Look, this is how I'm going to have to be looking if the Hamas wins the election." And this is a couple of Kuwaiti tourists in Damascus. It does Damascus too. The old city. It's very nice. If you have a chance, fantastic. The souk there, the bazaar, is the best. In Tehran, we all know now because of what we see on TV and magazines that women, they wear their scarf the way they want and their clothes the way they want, as long as they cover their and their head a little bit, and socks if possible. That's in Jordan at the university. That's in Syria. Was a video. An Iraqi singer he was doing a little clip for his video, and there were all these girls coming to dance and dancers. That's in Jordan too. Wealthy girl in the wealthy area in Amman. And this is in Kalandia in the West Bank. Women queuing at the checkpoint. It's changed a little bit recently. The Israelis have made better checkpoints, so it's more organized, but still checkpoints. That's on the Dead Sea, on the Jordan side. It's her family, her husband on the left. And this is in Gaza. That's one of my favorite pictures just because it's so spontaneous. That girl, she's smiling, she's got the sponge, she's out of the kitchen. It can be me, it can be you. In the end, it's not, it's not only bad all the time. And that's in Gaza. Yeah. She's hiring for the wedding of her stepsister, sister of her husband. Yeah. And her husband is fixing her clothes. They come it's a big deal, the clothing. They change clothes, a few times. Even the family around the bride, they go to the wedding in the house of the bride with their luggage, all of them, and the entire house becomes like a costume, a theater. It's funny. That's just to introduce a story. I'm going to start now in Gaza next week on a woman that has a really difficult story to tell, but I'm not going to tell you yet. She's the only one wearing pants. And that's my last picture for you.